From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
Big changes for a proposed rule on vaping, why that's being dropped. We've got that story coming up. And 5 candidates for the Green Party will no longer be appearing on the ballot this November. We're going to tell you why that decision was made coming up in just a few minutes. 6:30 on your Thursday edition back here on Montana This Morning. Caitlin Corbett and Chet Lehman. How's our Thursday shaping up?
It's shaping up to be interesting, to say the least. We're talking about some places with above average temperatures, another chance of some of that rain and hail we had yesterday, red flag warnings out, all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. Temperatures right now, not too bad. It's pretty hazy here in the Bozeman area. Air quality listed as moderate, so be aware of that if that affects you. The red flag warning in effect until 10 tonight for the pink shaded areas, higher temperatures, low humidities, and some gusty winds possible. Plus, we'll add some lightning opportunities in that as well, just to make things interesting. Warming up today into the mid to upper 80s for the Bozeman area with a chance of an afternoon scattered thunder shower. For Butte, warming into the low 80s today. Breezy conditions, and then we're heading into the weekend. And what that looks like, Caitlin, I'll have details from the patio in 10 minutes.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Chet. Officials with the Montana Health Department say they're dropping a proposed plan nearly a year in the making. That rule would ban flavored vaping products across the state. The proposed rule was made all the way back in October of last year following Governor Bullock's implementation of an emergency temporary rule that stopped the sale of flavored vape items. The decision to abandon the rule comes after 20 different lawmakers made up of senators and state representatives said the health department did not have the power to invoke such a ban. Sheila Hogan, the Montana Department of Health and Human Services director, says in a statement, quote, "It is apparent that more education and collaboration is necessary to protect Montana kids from the epidemic of e-cigarette use through this proposed rule, in spite of the latest study." The governor's Grizzly Bear Advisory Council finalizing its recommendations and is expected to present a final document to Governor Bullock on September 1st. The council held its final meeting yesterday and will work to clean up the formatting of the document over the next week. While the members did not always agree, the council was able to build a comprehensive document that addresses key topics like education, agriculture support, conflict reduction, and bear management. That document represents a year's work by 18 distinct Montana voices, including ranchers, conservationists, biologists, educators, and even garbage experts.
I think it was really cool how we all just came together and came to all those consensus agreements and came up with this really solid document that I'm hoping will be utilized in the future by FWP and all the other agencies.
Once presented, the document will ultimately be a tool for the governor's office, Fish, Wildlife and Parks, and the legislature when making decisions regarding grizzly bear management. 6:32 now. 2 court orders came down yesterday confirming that 5 candidates for the Green Party will not appear on Montana's November 3rd general election ballot. But as MTN's Mike Dennison explains, the rulings are the latest development in an unusual battle between the state Republican and Democratic parties.
The Montana Supreme Court and a federal judge in Missoula made it official Wednesday. 5 Green Party candidates will not appear on the November 3rd ballot in Montana. In a 5-2 decision, the High Court upheld the August 7th ruling by District Judge James Reynolds of Helena, who said the petition that qualified the Green Party was not valid. And Federal Judge Dana Christensen on Wednesday declined to block the Reynolds order. Those orders came 1 day before the general election ballot must be certified for printing. They also apparently end a months-long tug-of-war between the state Republican and Democratic parties over the Green Party's ballot status. The state GOP financed the petition drive that qualified the Green Party, leading to 5 candidates running as Greens, including in the high-profile U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and governor contests. The Montana Democratic Party filed suit in June, saying the petition drive had misled people as to who was behind the effort. Democrats said the GOP wanted Greens on the ballot to harm Democratic candidates in close statewide races, such as the U.S. Senate contest between Democratic Governor Steve Bullock and U.S. Senator Steve Daines. The state GOP on Wednesday said Democrats wanted to stifle the voice of the Green Party candidate Wendy Frederickson. She's a former state auditor accusing the Bullock administration of ignoring problems with federal grants to favored constituents. Reporter from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The actual Montana Green Party also disavowed the GOP's efforts to qualify it for the ballot. Also in political news this morning, Democrats put the issues of gun violence, climate change, and immigration front and center on the third night of the Democratic convention. But as our Joe St. George reports, it wasn't just issues that Democrats wanted to highlight. Some of the party's biggest names were speaking as well, including former President Barack Obama's harshest words about President Trump to date.
Donald Trump hasn't grown into the job because he can't.
Former President Barack Obama with a scathing review of his successor on night 3 of the Democratic convention, the most public rebuke by one president about another president in years.
This administration has shown it will tear our democracy down if that's what it takes for them to win.
The evening also putting Senator Kamala Harris front and center as she accepted the vice presidential nomination.
I know a predator when I see one. There is no vaccine for racism.
The issues of immigration.
Now my mom is gone, and she's been taken from us for no reason at all.
Gun violence, climate change, and others highlighted by the Biden-Harris campaign, with Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren speaking too.
This can't be another woulda, coulda, shoulda election.
We all need to be in the fight to get Joe and Kamala elected.
Warren's speech aimed at progressives like Sean Sindelman, a convention delegate for Bernie Sanders, who tells us he's not quite on board with the Biden campaign yet.
Are you going to vote for Joe Biden? I'll be honest, he has to earn my vote.
As for President Trump, he was live tweeting while President Obama was still speaking, saying he spied on my campaign. Trump later today will speak in Pennsylvania, just hours before the Democratic convention concludes with Joe Biden's address to the American people. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Now, of course, the Republican National Convention is supposed to be next week, but this is all happening
all virtual.
now.
That's what they're doing
all
from all over the
virtual.
place. Yeah, I think former President Obama speaking from Philadelphia last night. So it's kind of happening from all over the place.
And everything was, of course, supposed to happen in Milwaukee, but now we've had to make those adjustments. And
Yep. And then the Republican
virtual.
National Convention starts Monday, runs through Thursday of next week. And of course, we'll have coverage of that as well.
Yes, we will.
Yep.
6:37 now. Lavender might smell nice, but can it help fight COVID-19? A lot of people seem to think so. How that's driving record sales is coming up. First, though, here's a look at what's ahead at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, it was an historic night at the Democratic National Convention. And if you didn't stay up late, no worries, we did. We'll show you what Kamala Harris and former President Obama had to say last night. And we'll take a look ahead to Joe Biden formally accepting his party nomination for president. That happens tonight. Also, nearly a dozen wildfires of 1,000 acres or more are burning out of control in California. Very scary situation there. We'll have the latest as firefighters battle hundreds more up and down the state. Looks like a movie. And students in many states are already back in school. We'll hear the biggest concern that the teachers have about returning to the classroom. It's all part of our School Matters series. We'll see you at 7 o'clock on the dot.